If you're watching this, you've made a good call. These days, hybrids are almost always better than their gas counterparts. Sedans, SUVs, minivans, even trucks. No matter what you want, there is probably a hybrid version that's better. But which ones are the best?
We're Edmunds, and we test hundreds of cars each year on the road and at our private track, so you get the most trusted reviews. If you want to know which car, truck, or SUV is the best, then stick with us.
If you want a hybrid car, there is an obvious winner. The Honda Civic Hybrid is just great. We named it not just Edmunds' top-rated car for 2025, but Best of the Best, the award that we give to the vehicle that stands out above everything else. This car is a joy to drive. It feels quick and nimble and is just perfectly set up for dealing with city traffic. It's also comfortable and roomy for such a small car. If you're thinking, I need an SUV to carry my stuff, just go for the hatchback. It's got as much room in the trunk as the Honda HR-V. Also, physical, clicky, satisfying controls. This car is just easy to live with all the way around. We actually own one as part of our 1-year road test fleet, where we live with cars just like you would, and it's always in high demand. But it ain't perfect. The starting price is just over $30K, and if you want the best infotainment, you need to go for the top trim at over $33,000. For that money, you still don't get adjustable lumbar support or ventilated seats, and the cabin can get noisy on the highway. Plus, we've had trouble matching the Civic's EPA estimated fuel economy numbers. The best mileage we've seen out of a tank of gas has been 44 mpg, which falls short of the promised 48 combined. But look, that's still pretty efficient for a car this fun. If you really need more room and you want a bit more consistent fuel economy, we really like the Toyota Camry. In our testing, it came really close to its EPA ratings, 46 mpg versus the 47 mpg estimate for our test car. That's pretty incredible for a midsize sedan. And that midsize interior gives you plenty of room. We fit 4 adults comfortably and had no issues fitting kids' car seats. This car is just easy, and it's not just because of the room. The controls are simple to find and easy to use. The driving experience is smooth and easy whether you're on the freeway or in a parking lot. They have nailed the art of the simple, easy car. The biggest downside is that the front seats aren't as comfortable as they are in some other cars. They're just a bit too firm, and that got some complaints from our testers. But if you can live with the seats, this is a great choice for a hybrid car. And we've got tools to help you get a great deal on a great car. We'll drop the links for all the best hybrids down in the video description. The best hybrid SUV is the Hyundai Tucson. If you're a car nerd like us, you'll know that the Kia Sportage is basically the same thing, but there's one key difference that makes the Tucson better. We'll get to what that is in just a second. Just know most of what makes the Tucson great is also true for the Sportage. The Tucson is super comfortable, like our testers were comparing the front seats to some of that in small luxury SUVs. The back seat is huge, and it even reclines a bit for adults. It's really easy to get in car seats too. The trunk is huge. On paper, it's the biggest in the class, and we had an easy time loading bulky things like golf clubs or strollers in. We love the tech because it's also snappy and straightforward. We love driving the thing because it's really quick and it just glides over the road. It is all the way around. The fuel economy isn't exactly class leading though. We only managed 34 mpg in mixed driving, but for around town errands we saw 39. That kind of inconsistency can be a little frustrating, but we still think that for what you get for the money, the Tucson is a great value, especially once you factor in the amazing warranty. 5 years and 60,000 miles of basic coverage, and 10 years or 100,000 miles for the powertrain warranty. That's way more than anyone else offers. So what's the problem with the Sportage that makes the Tucson better? I'll let myself explain myself.
So what's not to like? It's this thing. Kia put the controls for the media and the climate functions in the same menu, and you swap between them using this button. The design of the buttons is subpar to begin with, and it's really hard to use them without taking your eyes off the road, a problem that's made only worse when you're looking for something and you're stuck in the wrong menu. Also, fuel economy for the Sportage is subpar despite the fact that it's a hybrid, which is kind of a bummer. But even compared to something like the RAV4, it's only a couple $100 a year difference for most drivers.
Check out that video if you want to see how every other SUV compares. Just like the Camry, the RAV4's big strength is its excellent and consistent fuel economy. We matched the EPA estimated 44 mpg combined in our testing, which is an amazing result for an SUV. The RAV4 has some really nice tech, but the highlight is the built-in dash cam recorder. This is the only small SUV to have something like that. The trunk is really roomy too, and you can fit in a ton of stuff. We also like the interior storage. Unfortunately, the backseat is less roomy than some rivals. It's not as easy to get into, and it's not as easy to fit car seats in comparison to something like the Tucson or the Honda CR-V. And just like in the Camry, we think the front seats are a little on the firm side. It's brand new, and it's the unquestionable champion 3-row hybrid SUV. The Hyundai Palisade Hybrid's X-Factor is off the charts. The interior is just flat out exceptional. I mean, look at this. And we don't just mean the design or the materials. Nothing else looks like the Palisade, and it feels more like a real luxury car than a family SUV. But it backs all that up with one of the most all-around useful interiors you can get. There are a ton of thoughtful touches. Lots of spots to store your stuff in all 3 rows, second row seats that tilt out of your way so you can get into the third row, even with a car seat installed. Even little things like putting USB ports in the seat backs so they're closer to your passengers is great. On the road, the hybrid is quiet and smooth with plenty of power even if you've got the whole family on board. So what's the problem? Well, like the Tucson, fuel economy is good on paper, but in our testing it fell a little short in the real world. The highest trims are also pricey, like almost $60,000 for a very top trim calligraphy hybrid. That's not uncommon for 3-row SUVs right now. Toyota and Mazda both have 3-row hybrid SUVs that top out at around 60 grand. At least the Hyundai feels like it's more worth the money for how much you get and for that awesome Hyundai warranty. More affordable trims are still comfy, practical, and well equipped, so don't feel like you need to stretch your budget because you're not gonna miss out. And if you don't want to miss out on getting the best price for your old car, we can help you figure out what it's worth and even get you multiple competitive cash offers. We'll drop a link down in the description. If you want 3 rows in a smaller package, our pick is the Kia Sorento Hybrid. All of those nice things we say about how practical and comfortable and nice to drive the other Hyundai Kia hybrids are is true here too, along with the great tech and awesome warranty. It's just all in a shorter vehicle. That means it's easier to park and less expensive to buy, but it also means a third row that's really only good for kids. And if you're using the third row, the trunk is absolutely tiny. You're not taking 6 people for a weekend getaway in this thing. But the front 2 rows are roomy and super comfortable, so if you only need a third row every once in a while, or you're only planning on putting kids or younger teens back there, the Sorento might work for you. Real ones know that the ultimate 3-row vehicle is actually a minivan, so we have to shout out the best hybrid minivan, the Toyota Sienna. It's got all the space and easy access you'd expect from a minivan, plus you can get all-wheel drive if you live somewhere with tricky weather. The party trick is just how far forward and back you can slide the middle seats so you can reach little kids from the front seat, get into the third row easily, or give adults a ton of room to stretch out. Yes, you can get a great hybrid truck, and even better, you can get a great tiny truck. The Ford Maverick Hybrid is like the antidote to how much bigger and more expensive full-size trucks have gotten. The Maverick gives you a usable bed, a better backseat for passengers than you get in the bigger Ranger, and a shockingly smooth driving experience. That great big touchscreen comes as standard, and you can get the hybrid starting at around 30 grand. And that's really the appeal here. This is a more affordable, more approachable truck that actually does enough truck stuff for what most people will need. This is a truck you can park anywhere and drive around anywhere. You can even do some light off-roading with the Tremor trim, and you can tow a small trailer and carry up to around 1,500 pounds in the bed. We did a whole video comparing different size trucks, and there are some advantages to a smaller truck, like actually being able to see what's in front of you. There are some downsides. The interior is a lot, let's say, simpler than some of the bigger trucks. There's a lot of plastic and not a lot of adjustability for the driver's seat. We also don't like that some features are hidden behind expensive options packages, so if you have any make or break features, make sure you can get them in your budget. If you do need to do big truck stuff with a big truck, the F-150 Hybrid isn't just a good pick, it's actually our favorite version of the F-150. Okay, excluding the ridiculous V8 Raptor R, it's our favorite version. We actually bought one of these for our 1-year road test program, and we wound up keeping it a lot longer than we planned, to the tune of 45,000 miles. It got a lot of miles as a support vehicle for all the videos we film, hauling equipment all around Southern California, and even out into the desert for off-road shoots. We towed with it. People used it to move. I used it to move. People road tripped it. The F-150 is already a great full-size truck, especially with those big lazy boy seats that just soak up the miles. The hybrid engine is great because it adds a heaping helping of torque, 570 pound-feet, which is more than any other F-150 except that $112,000 Raptor R. The downside is that, at least in our experience, it's hard to match that 24 mpg EPA estimate. In our time with the F-150 Hybrid, it only managed around 20 mpg on average. That's better than what we've seen from other V6 F-150s though. We test, rate, and review every hybrid and pretty much every other car, truck, and SUV that you can buy. You can find all our rankings and reviews over at the website. It takes a lot of people and a lot of time to test and rate hundreds of cars each year. A like and subscribe lets us know you appreciate the work we put in and you want us to keep it going. Hybrids are better than ever, and in almost every case when a car has a hybrid version and a gas-only version, we rate the hybrid higher. So the cars on this list aren't just great hybrids, they're legitimately some of the best vehicles you can buy. We'll keep updating our rankings every time a new hybrid comes out, so stay tuned for all of our future tests and comparisons. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.